Hey, listeners, welcome back to the Dream Stream. I am your host, Yiskah Koock, here with my dream sister, Ellen Ronis. And we were just talking about how we only have snippets of dreams that we remember. This is going to be the Dream Fragment podcast. So you were saying something, Ellen, that reminded me of a scene in a movie. So if you could repeat, like you wake up and you feel sort of...
Yeah, I've been waking up with a lot of, like, what would be the word, like chaos, almost like noise and people and scenes and things all mixed up and sort of just kind of all around me, almost like a cloud, but I can't pull anything apart from it. I can't pull a feeling or I mean, the feeling is a little bit just like I want to know something. It's like there's this total unclarity, and I want to know something from the dream, but I can't get anything. And I've had several of those in the last week or so.
It reminds me of that scene in the series The Good Place. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
And at one point, Eleanor goes to speak with Michael in his office, and he's like, "Oh, sorry about the mess." She's like, "What mess?" It was spotless. He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." He's like moving negative energy out of the ways. "I forget you only see in 3 dimensions."
Okay.
Like the stuff on the 7th dimension was chaotic or something.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what it is. It's like I'm trying to kind of sort like swim through it all to find clarity.
Yes.
And then there was a dream that I had that there was something clear, and I didn't write it down, and I can't remember.
Oh, I don't like when it happens.
It was also just a little snippet. It was just a little something. Goodness, what was it? Oh, anyway, I don't remember that. Maybe it'll come to me, but I did have I had a little
conversation
this morning of something too that was
good.
It was like yummy. It was so lovely.
Yes.
And it was very clear what it meant to me, but
no longer is. Well, as we always often talk about, there's other ways to connect with your dreams, not just intellectually. So even if I don't remember something, maybe it's working on me on a different thing.
Right. It's good to remember that. I do assume that is happening, that, my mind isn't the reason why I can't get clear. And then, it's working. And then, I do believe that.
That information wants to go to you in a different way.
Yeah.
Not through the mind, the memory.
Well, and I think also it's kind of like how I feel in waking life too, that there's just a lot of unclarity and a lot of kind of inability to sort of sensations forward on things that I'm inability wanting to take forward on things that I'm. It just has that same feeling of like I just can't quite get clear. It just has that same feeling of like I just can't quite get clear. On the path,
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and then the dream that I had this morning. Had nothing to do with that at all, but this morning. So I've been watching this show. Have nothing to do with that at all, but kind of a ridiculous show. So I've been watching this show. It's like a teenage. It's kind of a ridiculous show. Not ridiculous. It's like a teenage girl show.
You told me about that in the last episode.
It goes on and on.
You told me about that in the last episode.
I'll probably be talking about it for like it goes on and on and on. So I'll probably be talking about it for like
3 more times.
It's sort of embarrassing, but it's actually.
Well, I just saw.
It's sort of embarrassing, but it's actually.
I watched it twice. Be quiet, but I just finally saw. I'm gonna say this, and then I'll be quiet. But I just finally saw, and I thought it was a great movie. Like I always heard, it's just. And I thought it was great movies, but it's like I always heard, we were talking about, not last time how teenagers, but it's like a teenage movie. We're talking about made for teenagers. How.
I don't know why that is, but I do tend to like that sort of. I don't know why that is, but I do tend to like that. Whatever, just I don't know why. Maybe
or not necessarily, but
I really
whatever.
don't know
Just
why,
I don't know why. Maybe it's this one. This one I know why I like because it's like it's. I feel like I said this one. This one I know why I like because it's like FM. You know that. I feel like I said this to you last time. Light FM. It's like light FM. You know that radio station. It's light FM for your eyes. Gorgeous scenery,
meaning
so
like beautiful
Calgary,
actors,
gorgeous scenery,
lovely.
and it's horses.
Yes.
You know,
It's all about,
you know,
lovely.
and it's horses, ranch, and the young girl is a horse whisperer. Essentially, they call the girl ranch, and the young girl is a horse whisperer. So essentially, every episode, it's like there's a horse that comes to her. So it needs to be like corrected or fixed or whatever. There's a horse that comes to her 5 seconds. That needs to be like corrected or fixed or whatever. I'm learning in like 5 seconds everything there is to know about like horses. I'm learning. I'll teach you everything there is to know about like horses. Yeah, maybe I'll teach you everything. I wanted one when I was a kid. That's probably part of it. Is the whole fantasy element, and it's also like a kid. That's probably part of it. Is the family fantasy element. You know, it's also like a fantasy, like the family fantasy. You know, I don't know if they're an amazing family, but they have this lifestyle. You know, I don't know if they're an amazing family, but they have this family and the ranch hands, community, you know, people coming in and out, and the ranch, you know, cute and good looking, you know, people coming in and out, and it's like cute, you know, cute and good looking, and it's also like completely unrealistic. It's all anybody's life that I know, and it's also like so it's a little bit like the fantasy anybody's life that I know. I would love to. So it's a little bit like the fantasy. So nice. So there's this character on there who I don't particularly find attractive on the show. So there's this character on there who I don't particularly find attractive. He was in my dream at all, and I wasn't necessarily like his character, but he was in my dream. But I was just like, I was kind of leaning back on something, but it was just leaned into him and was just hugging him for like a really long time. Like leaned into him and was just hugging him for like melting, long, delicious, and it was hug. This melting, delicious hug. That was it. And
so that feeling,
that was it. Feeling was like, oh,
so
my
that
God.
feeling,
You know, I don't have that in my life.
Yes,
like, oh my God.
Yes.
Not that I don't have a man in my life or a boyfriend.
Yes,
it's like I just don't. I don't get hugged.
Yes.
Not that I don't have a man in my life or a boyfriend. It's like I just
we've
don't get hugged.
We've been in a pandemic, so hopefully we've been in a pandemic, so hopefully with a household of people. There's that. But it happened. You know, I live in a with a household of people. It's not that kind of relationship. So. Yeah. So I think that I just long for that, like the healing. So I think that I just long for that, like the oxytocin or whatever the healing chemical that gets released when you hug oxytocin or whatever the time. I think they say like 20 chemical that gets released when you hug when you just hold someone and just breathe with them and just don't do not a little when you just hold someone and just breathe with them 20 seconds. You know, don't do not a little some kind of hormone. I think it's for 20 seconds. Happy hormone. It releases some kind of hormone. You know, it's almost like I sort of got it in my sleep. Yeah, exactly.
And,
so
you know, it's almost like
here's another question though.
My sleep.
So this particular here's another question though. So tell me about particular what is it about him character.
Good question. Show. And I was thinking,
tell
like,
me about
what is
him.
It about
what
him?
Is it about him?
You know, good question. So and I was thinking, like, what is it about him? He's a cowboy. You know, so he does all the like rodeo circuits and the cowboy. He does all the like rodeo circuits, roping, and the, you know, rope the cow, and you're supposed to roping and the you know roping, rope the cow, and you're supposed to bull riding, bull where you
bull riding.
He does all of that stuff.
Okay.
And his character he does all of that is like stuff.
Okay.
And his character is like, how do I describe him? He's not particularly, how do I describe him? But he's not particularly heart. Like he makes smart, foolish decisions, and you know, big heart. But he's actually like, he makes really, really good decisions. And, he's you know, but he's actually this really, really good guy. And there's something about him too that always strikes me that. And even when somebody is saying something to him, like that's a really stupid thing to do. Even when somebody is saying something to him, whatever on the show, that's a really stupid thing to do. You know, or I would do that, you know, whatever on the show. He just kind of he kind of goes in normal. And he's like,
Yeah,
like kind of like
I'm gonna
this,
do
and he
that.
just kind of goes
Anyway,
in.
like he's really
like,
just
he thinks
about it. I'm gonna do that.
weighs it
Anyway, like
out.
he's
And then
really
he just
just
says, I'm
he's
doing
thinking
this.
about
This
it.
is my
he weighs
decision.
it
This is
out.
bad. And then he just says,
And there's
I'm
something
doing
about
this.
that
This is
that
my
is
decision.
I really appreciate
then-
that about him.
Exactly.
And there's something
if this
about
is my
that
dream,
that
I'm
is
thinking
I really appreciate that about him.
same feeling. Exactly. If this is my dream, I'm thinking in myself. Same feeling. That same determination. Changes that are going to be happening in myself. And because I was just talking about a couple of changes that are going to be happening. What anyone else thinks, I really, possibly, I'll be so glad to hear decision what anyone else thinks,
Right.
Possibly,
Right.
but I will maybe be transferring that
Right.
to you.
Right.
Through
Maybe,
that,
yeah.
maybe
I know. I was
transferring
thinking
that
about that, and what
to
else
you,
about him?
through
Maybe,
that.
yeah. I know. I was
He's
thinking
kind of
about that. And
so
what,
sweet
what else
about him.
I don't
Yeah.
know. He's a little dopey.
He's kind of so sweet
about him.
Like, I would say
he's
not
a little
intellectual
dopey,
at all.
Everybody in the show is
particularly,
I would say
it's
not
just not about
intellectual
that.
at all.
Really.
Everybody in the show is particularly,
but
he
it's just
loves
not about
hard,
that.
like he
Really.
just,
He's,
but
he was really
loves
heartbroken
hard,
by
like
this
he just,
girl.
you
And there's
know,
something he's just has
he's,
a very
he was
sweet
really
heart.
heartbroken by this girl.
About
And there's
him.
something
So
he's
that's
just has this
another
very
thing
sweet
that I
heart
look for in myself.
about him.
Talk a lot about another the Gestalt way of doing my framework is that talk a lot about the Gestalt character in your dream and every object that you are significant. Character, animate or every object in your dream. So I'm thinking of him as being animate or inanimate, being a part of me. So I'm thinking of him or what I'm trying to get from his attributes as being a part of me. And I feel like or what I'm trying to get from him. Maybe like what I don't want to feel like make myself vulnerable though. Maybe like what I don't want like a self vulnerable though. Gentle heart or soft heart. I don't want like a strong, discerning heart or soft heart. I want a strong, big heart. That sounds good to me. Big heart. That sounds good to me.
I mean, maybe it was just a reminder of that. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was just a reminder, or right, if he is a part of me, or right, if he is a part of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's also something about self-loving, I mean, it really felt like very much like self-loving, I need to get hugged. It really felt like very much
felt like hello,
I need to get hugged.
Gotta give.
It felt like
hello,
but I do think
gotta
give
there's
here.
something about that kind of bonding.
But I do think that there's something about that kind of bonding.
So
with
aren't all the dreams about that though?
Yeah, I do.
So
I
aren't
do
all
think
the dreams
pretty
about
much,
that?
right?
Yeah,
I do. It's got to be about you.
And that's
pretty
good.
much,
That's
right?
good.
If it's psyche, it's got to be about you.
And that's good. That's good. The things that are one holding them back, if only in their mind, or things that are whatever. It helps holding them back, if only in their mind, or more objective. Whatever. It helps us to see it more clearly, more objective. So, anything else you want to say about this? So, anything else you want to say about this?
I guess if I'm really feeling into like the way things were in the if I'm really feeling into like the way things were and we're thinking of the dream, I'm him too, and we're thinking he is part of me, my own psyche too, and I would say he is a part of me, absolutely embracing, and I would say and loving, absolutely embracing, accepting, and loving, taking in, and holding, and all of those things that it felt like a part of myself, holding, and all of those things that it felt like a part of myself. And I do think I'm doing that for myself. It's coming up a lot, and I do think that that's waking life, about the ways in which it's coming up a lot. So I think in my unbearably waking life, about the ways in which I'm so unbearably hard on myself. I really don't want to do that anymore. It's it's not loving. It's not holding. It's not being like
kind to ourselves.
It's not loving. It's not holding.
World out there. Be kind to ourselves.
Really rough.
World out there.
It's a really rough.
I always say this to my little boy, because up to us for a while. I always say this to my little boy, so negative about himself. I'm so for a while, whatever it is, be so negative about himself. I'm so stupid, whatever it is. Like if you feel good about yourself, then other people around you are going to feel good about you. Like if you feel good about yourself, then other people around you energy feel good about you. So negative about yourself because that has energy. Other people might pick up on that. So negative about yourself because then other people, and it's not just for a 7-year-old, it's for
well,
us all. And it's not just for a 7-year-old.
The thing is that's when we get those messages. That's when we get. The thing is that's when we get those messages. Start to sort of sense the lack of something, right? We didn't get as the lack of something. We didn't get that something. We didn't get as the right. I don't know how to say this exactly. The right kind of love. We didn't the right. I don't know how to say this exactly. There's a lot of us kind of love. We didn't get necessary. I'm saying for whatever. There's a lot of us.
Sure.
Yeah, and for whatever today of young children are different than our parents were. I mean, you're younger today of young children are different than our parents were. I mean, you're younger than me.
Difference,
but certainly,
same.
Yeah, there was
difference.
It's whatever it was. There was a sort of a matter of fact. There was about child rearing. Whatever it was, there was a sort of a matter of fact. The smushy love and not that back then we weren't loved about the smushy love and not that but we weren't loved.
Yeah, I got very lost in my sibling lineup there, the middle of three. I got very lost in my sibling lineup there, the middle of three.
Be the middle,
kind of really crammed
in.
Be
the middle child. Be the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be the middle child.
I'm sure I've said this probably so many times on the podcast. So my brother was born on my first birthday. Probably so many times on the podcast. So my brother was born on my first birthday.
But yes, sisters, how much older?
My sister's 2 years older.
It was here though. And
she kind of
how much older?
My sister's 2 years older into like her
Wonder Woman. Your
she kind of
mom.
hated me, so I was born into like her
Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
your
so
mom,
it's like, how do you do that? Like that's hard.
So young.
Yeah, so it's like, how do you do that? Like that's hard to analyze all of that. But anyway, but whatever, it doesn't really matter to knowing that many of us didn't get like the kind of love that knowing that many of us didn't get like the kind of love that one knowing that one integrates. I'm lovable. I'm smart. I'm good. Knowing I'm good. I see. I'm lovable. I'm smart. I'm good. Now of parents that I know who have that because their parents so very much parents that I know who have that because their parents so very much like held them and held them through and paid attention. Everything,
There's also the danger though of the helicopter parent.
Paid attention.
Well, there's also the danger though of the helicopter parent. And so parent needs to keep their own life in the child separate from their children's lives. Parent needs to keep their own life, not live vicariously through their children's lives, but not live vicariously through the children separate, but keep one's own self.
Totally agree with
separate.
That. Yeah, there's definitely a balance. Absolutely. Yes, totally agree with that. Yeah, there's definitely a balance. Yeah, and the person that I'm thinking of is particularly as an only child. It's a young and the person that I'm thinking of is particularly as an only child. So it's easier to give that one child's all of she's an only child. So it's easier to give that one child's all. Anyway, it's just one of those things that I'm looking at in life, and I think it's just one of those things that this little dream snippet is looking at in life, and I think that's maybe that's what this little dream snippet is about. Somehow.
May I share my?
Yeah, good.
Ellen. May I share my?
Yes, please.
It was a part of a much longer dream that I flash of don't have the memory. It was a part of a much longer dream that I was on a plane. Don't have the memory of. The plane started to nosedive. I was on a plane. And the plane started twice. So I guess it did, and then it, towards the earth probably got it. Ballast again twice. So I guess it did, and then probably got it. It was as if ballast again, and like again nosedive. And then it was as if the pilot like pulled up, and the plane went straight up, and it ended up landing, and the plane went straight up, and it ended up landing. I thought it was in the vehicle, but there I was about to go into. I thought it was in the vehicle, but building. There I was. And that's about to go into. I remember from that a building, and that's all. That
so where did it land? Like on?
I don't know that it ever. Well,
so where did it land?
Probably
like
landed on. I got out of it. I don't know that it ever. Maybe. Well, it probably. Or maybe there was two me's. I got out of it. Oh, maybe I saw me, and or maybe there was two me's on a plateau. I saw just me, and then in a city or something on a plateau. Just at an airport or something.
What did that feel like when you were on the plane and it was doing
at an airport? The nosedives. What did that
feel like when you were on the plane and it was doing all that?
The nosedives were a little frightening, and it was like But I also had to wonder if it was and day residue because. But I also had to wonder if it was movie like day residue. And the last thing that I saw watching a movie was a plane And the last thing that I saw, I mean, they didn't show it, was a plane nose down crashing. You know, we didn't see. I mean, they didn't show it. You just nose down. Somehow they, just didn't see learned it happened. That you just. So I thought, well, somehow you just learned it happened. Had seen. So I thought, but it also could be. I also residual that from what we grab onto. But it also significant. I also believe for ourselves. We in life onto that we can then significant metaphors for ourselves.
Yes.
In life,
exactly. Like there's a reason why you remembered that image. Sure. Yes, exactly. Like there's a reason why you remembered that image. Sure. That was out of the whole dream that you didn't remember, but you remembered that.
And it was like nosedive, and then so interesting. The plane got and it was like and then nosedive, and then the plane got bounced again, like and then second like a rocket. And then landed on like shot up almost like a rocket.
Yeah, and just my sense of that, just for life, my own my sense of that, is kind of how I feel. Life, my own, right? Life is feeling like that. Yeah, is kind of how I feel. The markets just went down. Is feeling like that.
Yeah,
down. The markets just went down. That's up and go down and up and down. Oh my God! Just it really just life just feels like that. Oh my God!
Yeah,
it really just my experience. Life just feels like that.
Yes. Yeah.
In my experience.
And I wonder what store I was walking into at the end. And I wonder what store part of me thinks it was like at the end. A hardware store or a nail part of me thinks it was like a hardware store or a nail salon. Right? A hardware store and I don't know. To repair something. Nail salon. They repair a hardware store. You buy things to repair something. Nail salon. Maybe they repair a lot of nails. Or maybe it was like a real estate office or something. Or maybe it was like a real estate
quite a selection of possibilities.
Totally different.
That's quite a selection of possibilities.
Totally different. Something very different.
So, how did you, well, it was fearful when you were doing that. How overall, did you, well, it was fearful when I woke up, I was you were doing that, but like overall,
when I woke up, I was just I was like, I'm not going to record this. When I woke up, I was just like, you. I'm not going to go back. I this right now. Bad girl. I'm going to go back. But I knew it was like that because this was stark enough of memorable. And I knew it was like that stark enough of a that I seen, and then I did remember it. Plain, so I was glad. So that when I first woke up, though, I did remember it. Was a little glad. So when I first woke up, and again, we've talked about this before. Was a little. I start doing the dream work on the. And again, we've talked about this before. Like I start doing the dream work on the dream. What it could mean, pretty much. Right away. I mean, I just wanted to sleep a little more. What it could mean, but so that's what I did. I mean, I just wanted to sleep a little more to answer your question. So that's what I did. So I don't know to answer your question.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in my sense of it, it's like if it were my dream, I guess in my sense of it, it's like if it were my dream. I've had a lot of airplane dreams not going down, but I've had a lot of airplane dreams not going down. But I've had any mode of transportation is interesting to me. Like I'm going some any mode of transportation is interesting to me.
Like a train, train travel, and that also like a train travel. Regardless, that also in some ways symbolize the collecting, but because there's a lot of people on a plane, in some ways symbolize the collective. Because there's a lot of people on a plane. There's a lot of people on the bus.
I've had a lot of train dreams. I've had some train dreams that I remember. I've had a lot of train. I've had some train dreams that I remember. So cool, and then a whole other scene, and then a whole other scene, sceneries, and that was so cool. I didn't necessarily see it as a collective as much as going through life. I didn't necessarily see it as a collective as much as going through life, moving, or in a plane somehow traveling through. Me seems to be in a plane somehow. It's really about me. It's not so much the journey, because the journey going is like really about so fast. It's not so much the journey. The journey being anything is like for the most part. It's so just fast. You're here and you're not, and then being anything for the few hours later. You're very somewhere far away. Like and then it's this very fast. A few hours later you're very somewhere far away. Like this really quick thing of changing, and you're here and then you're there. It's like this really quick thing of changing
but it's getting from here to there. I'm just kind of riffing.
Yeah, you're talking about
but it's
trains.
getting from here to there. I'm just kind of riffing.
You're talking about
trains.
Oh, I see.
Plane, really fast mode of transportation.
Yeah, and
plane is
the
altitude. Really fast mode of transportation.
Yeah, and it's so you don't have altitude. It's much, it's up in the air, of the world. So you don't have such a close expanses, but you can see of the world.
Right.
Yeah. See expanses.
Right, you're up high and you can, ostensibly look down. Right, you're up high and you see anything once you're that high up. But ostensibly look down, you can't really see anything once you're that high up. But yeah, being above, being above everything. I don't know if there's anything. But yeah, being above. Yeah, being above everything. Things. I don't know if there's anything to that.
Yeah, it made me feel like
things.
Not maybe not grounded. It made me feel like. Not, I mean, because I'm on not grounded spiritual journeying. So I mean, because I'm talking about spiritual journeying. I need to couple it. And I've been talking about very grounded, and I need to couple earth things with being very grounded and doing more earth.
Well, it's interesting that you when you got out of the plane, you did this really. It's interesting that you when you got out of the plane, you did this really very
hardware store thing.
Yeah, like whatever store it was, like it was a store, it was like shopping, Yeah, like whatever store it was, like it was a store, it was like shopping,
right?
We do on in this plane of existence,
right?
Yeah, right.
Plane,
yeah,
intended.
Yeah, right. Do you have any other like sense of it?
Yeah.
Do you have any other like plane? A lot of people in the plane. Did you notice anything? Were there other people in the plane? A lot of people in the plane. Did you notice anything like that?
I mean, I think now I'm not remembering. I think I'm remembering from the movie. Now I'm not remembering from the dream, but I'm remembering the plane was like two people. I saw that scene in. I don't know. The plane was like two people. I assume that I don't know. Full of passengers. I assume that it was full of passengers. I assume that. Yeah. So, and I guess it's such a relief not to. So, and I guess it's such a relief not to crash. So I felt better. So self when the plane started going up. I felt better because first of all I knew we weren't going to crash anymore. Going up. And also then because first of all I knew we weren't going to crash anymore. Yeah. And also then
it's terrifying.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
It's interesting. It's like it put you through a lot of feeling, right? It's interesting. It's like it put you through a lot. I imagine a lot of feeling.
It did exactly.
I imagine. Yeah, I don't know what the deeper meaning of that is, but
I would like to look at.
I don't know what the deeper meaning of that is. But
I would like to. How did you feel? Look at because we often when we dream work, we often ask how did you feel when you woke up. But I would like something our teacher Robert Moss compare and contrast the difference. I would like to what I feel in the dream, compare and contrast feel when the difference between what
I often I did ask you how you felt when you woke up, but I often will I did ask you how you felt when you woke up in the dream, but I often will when I'm talking to people about dreams ask them how did you feel in the dream.
Not always the same. It's not always obvious.
Wonderful. Not always the same.
Not always the same.
Yeah.
Sometimes obvious.
So
sometimes surprising.
How did you feel in the dream? Well, so you just said, right? How did you feel?
I was fearful when it was going down.
You just said, right?
I also felt I was fearful when it was going down. This is something I also felt grappling with right now, and also in my meditation practice. This is something I'm grappling with right now, and also in my meditation practice. I often feel like in the night, and I have a visual of it. I often feel like I'm also aware that I have a visual of it. So this was something I am also aware that I wanted to share with you. So this was something I wanted to share with you. Doing a meditation in the liminal place. Regular listeners, healing meditation, a meditation in the liminal place, and healing meditation for others. And I realized it was like a snap. And I realized it was like do this, but I could see realization myself. I realized that. I do this, but I could see. I think we talked about that myself. So healed by 75. Whomever. I think we talked about that in episode. I realized I have to embody myself. I have to be in my body. So even when it's in my head, and I have to be in my body. Imaginal work. So even when it's in my head, and I'm so doing all this imaginal work, I'm in my body. I'm working on my head. It's working on my head. Raja working on my feet. I'm working on my head. Wind is at my Raja working on my feet. At my right. Whatever it is at my left hand. Shekhinah at my right. Whatever it is. That might have been. Again, just 2 nights ago. I started doing it that way. Again, just 2 nights ago. Revelation. So I started doing it that way. It's different. This person who is Jessica being healed. I don't just see. No, I this person I who embody is Jessica her. Being healed. I'm her. No, I embody her. That's me.
That's so important.
So important. That's
you're talking about healing your body.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You're talking about healing your body.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So that's something I was thinking about because, I believe that's something that will help greatly with the healing process. I believe that will help stepping right in to be the healing process and to be grateful for stepping right in to be healed.
Just something just occurred to me as you're saying that. It's like
for that healing.
When you have those, when you have the feelings in the dream, as you're saying that, it's like fear. When you have those, when you have the feelings in the dream, like of the sort of fear, it feels terrifying to me. But you know it's that word, but
checks out for me. Checks out for me.
It's a strong feeling anyway, right? Whatever it is, it's a really strong feeling, and then there's another. It's a strong feeling anyway, right? Whatever it is, it's a really strong feeling, and then there's another strong feeling when you go back up. Whether it's relief, those strong feelings are very embodied when it's like life or death. Those strong feelings are very embodied when it's like life or death.
Very true.
Not a heady thing. It's a very physicalized thing, right? It isn't
very true.
Not a knows. Maybe there's some connection there.
Yes.
So who knows? Maybe there's some connection there to be in the more in your own body, to have those to be in the more in your own body, to have those intense
differentiate
emotions.
Like who am I that's watching the plane? Differentiate outside of the plane. I can see what's happening. Who am I that's watching the plane? And then who am I that's in the plane? See what's happening, experiencing it, but and then during the healing ritual, I was just experiencing it, but during the healing ritual, I was just me, myself. It wasn't like I was the observer. I was also me, the observer. It wasn't like I was the observer, and I was the healing. I was the healing. I was the healing.
Yeah.
The healing. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you are wanting to know, or? Is there anything else that you are wanting to know, or?
No, I'll just think about it all peripherally. No, I'll just think about. But you have more, I think, right? Peripherally. But you have more, I think, right?
I had one, and I just don't remember it.
Okay,
I had one, and I just don't remember it. Mornings ago, so I didn't write it down. But there it is. Something. There's something. Mornings ago, saying, "I don't remember." There it is. Something. There's something.
Well, it's fine to have a shorter podcast. Our listeners probably fine to have a shorter podcast once in a while. Our listeners probably
I always think what's interesting about the
once in a while.
I always think what's interesting about the fragments. I'm always amazed at how juicy it is.
I know.
I'm always amazed
just a fragment.
Juicy, right?
To me, I only have a fragment. Just a fragment, Dr.
Right?
To me, I only have a fragment to say, beware. When Dr. Larson, when my dream teacher used to say, beware. When someone
an hour
says,
later, you're still
it's just a fragment of a dream.
Right, it's true. Right, an hour later, you're still
exactly. I think so too.
It's true. Yeah, that's because here I am thinking it's just this, like I'm hugging this guy, and he's hugging. Yeah, because here I am thinking it's just this, like I'm hugging this guy, and healing hug, and to me it's just very low, visceral, healing that it's about that. But then we have this visceral thing going on, like that it's about that. But then we have this whole other thing going on.
It is a yummy feeling. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and it is, and it was, and definitely
it is a yummy feeling.
Part of it. Well, and it is, and it was, and definitely that's maybe it's like part of it. You can't have that unless you have that for yourself. And maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's like you can't have that unless you have that for yourself.
I think it is. I think it must be.
That's really true.
Yeah. You have to love ourselves. I think it is. I think it must be. The way you think about yourself. You have to love ourselves. Same thing I told my child. Like, think the way you think about way.
So it's true, like what you think is possible, like, you know, if you go around saying, well, I'm never it's true, like what you think is possible, like, you know, if you go around saying, well, I'm never going to have that, or I know that I have the tendency not to see myself, you know, somehow, I know that I have the tendency like to see feedback things to me that I'm like, in reality, am I that?
Yes.
Like people feedback things to me that I'm like, if I am that, and I'm literally hearing that's pretty awesome. And I'm because it's things that people say over and over to me, like and I'm because it's things that people say over and over to me, like just that. I'm really looking at that aspect of myself where I'm really continually want to just stay in the old story of the not enoughness, continually want to just stay in the old story of the not enoughness.
The grooves are deep.
They're so deep. Yeah, they're so deep, and I really want to take the needle off.
Grooves are deep.
On that time. Yeah, they're so deep, and I really want to take the needle off. Younger listeners,
we are alluding to
it's really time because
younger listeners and old. We are alluding to a record player. The needle off. Old-fashioned record player. So the needle off. Yeah, I thought just now that we're talking about the hug. I just want to clarify this. I thought just now that we're talking about just a hug. Want people to have. I just want to clarify this. Just you never know. When we talked about want people to have a more totem animals image, and we talked about the owl. We talked about the eagle, totem animals. A few back, and I said one of my dreams where I was making out a few back. And I said one of my dreams where I was very essential with a bald eagle. Is he was a tall, standing eagle. Very essential. Taller than he was a tall, really standing to behold. Was like two-legged kind of guy. Really something to behold. It's like two-legged kind of guy. I just didn't want people to picture it like you're picturing it of this big bird. Didn't want people to picture it like you're picturing it of this big bird. Am I lifting it up?
That is a very potent image. That is a very
I could see it.
A very potent image.
Oh. It was almost like I could see it. I could see it. The kind of guy. It was almost like standing up. Isn't he like Foghorn Leghorn? The kind of cartoon like standing up. I don't know if it's really like that, but I picture him standing up. I don't know if it's really like that, but I picture him standing up. He is personified in that cartoon. Personified.
It feels very shamanic.
Personified in that cartoon.
It feels very shamanic to me when you standing on his 2 feet that way. Tall. It's almost like almost human. You know, standing.
And the other thing is, as I listened to the podcast again, I said. The other thing is, as I listened to the podcast, significant. I said it was a tail feather. Plucked a wing feather. I think this is significant. Pretended to smoke it. Plucked and then he put it in my back pocket. He pretended to smoke it. I think there's difference. And then he put it in my back pocket.
So shamanic, that whole thing.
I think there's difference.
Very. I don't know what I said. So shamanic, that whole thing. I don't remember what I said about it or how. I don't know what I said about it, but I don't remember what I said about it or how. Like that's when we talked about it. But right now, it's really feeling like. Yeah, like a shaman's dream. Like you got a tool.
Oh,
like
wonderful.
An eagle feather is a tool. Like you got a tool.
I do have an eagle feather.
Eagle feather is a tool.
But it didn't come to me in that way. I do have an eagle feather.
That's okay.
But it didn't come to me in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that. I know it's silly.
Yeah,
so
it isn't though.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, but it isn't like me to say that.
Yeah,
but it have a different kind of take on it to say that. Cool. Have a different kind of take on it.
Yes. So I was thinking, when I do the active imagination work, when I do before I fall asleep. And I was active thinking, imagination work. My only limit before I fall asleep. I was thinking, imagine. My only limit, is like what my imagination might not be rich enough. That's my only limit. It's like my imagination might not be rich enough. Because that's my only limit. The prayer circle, I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm the healing. I do the prayer circle, and I realize where I go for healing. Then the healing, and I realize where I go for healing is a portal. And then then more creative, so I could think of more things. So I have to be more creative, so I could think of the imaginal realm that need doing in the imaginal realm, and I'll be there.
Whatever we can imagine,
and I'll be there.
Whatever we can imagine. Expand our consciousness, our expand our horizons. Consciousness, our energy, our horizons.
So let us release our listeners So let us release our listeners. Join with you today. So listeners, so great to join with you today. And I hope you have sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
Okay, Ellen, it's not being recorded.
You are still recording.
Okay, Ellen, am I? It's not being recorded.
You are still recording.
Am I?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to get disconnected from you, hon. It was great talking to you. Then I'm going to get disconnected from you, hon. It was great talking to you.
Are we in disconnect?
Okay. I think we might.
Okay.